there, very good evening and welcome to Primetime News here on News First, where the people come first. You're joining me, Naveksha Gunasekara. We start off by taking a look at your headlines.
Royal College wins 144th Royal Thomian Battle of the Blues. We hope the Sri Lanka Parliament will reconsider the appropriateness of questioning Supreme Court judges. A statement from the Bar Council of England and Wales. Official term of 340 local government institutions to end at midnight tomorrow. Next IGP should have ability to restore public confidence in Sri Lanka police. Bar Association writes to President. Will Russian President Vladimir Putin be arrested after ICC issues arrest warrant?
In your top story tonight, Royal College Colombo were crowned the winners of the 144th Battle of the Blues after 7 years, beating St. Thomas's College by 180 runs. Now this is the 36th time that Royal College have won the Battle of the Blues.
The Battle of the Blues is the second oldest school cricket encounter in the world, and this year it marked its 144th edition. Royal College were invited to bat first with St. Thomas's College, winning the toss at the SSC in Colombo. In their first innings, Royal lost their first 4 wickets with just 64 runs on the board. Royal skipper Dasis Manchanayake and Ramiro Pereira then put on a match-winning partnership of 228 runs for the 5th wicket. Manchanayake scored 137 runs while Ramiro Pereira scored 128 runs. Akash Fernando took 4 wickets. Royal eventually declared the innings on 326 for 8. In reply, opening batsman Senadi Bulankulama scored 40 runs for the Thomians. Bulan Veeratunga took 3 wickets. St. Thomas's ended their first innings with just 153 runs all out. Royal captain Manchanayake then proceeded to score his second half-century of the game, scoring 57 runs in their second innings. Royal eventually declared their second innings on 168 for the loss of 4 wickets, giving St. Thomas's a target of 342 runs to win. The Thomians lost their first 3 wickets with just 43 runs in their second innings. Captain Romesh Mendis scored 12 runs. Their first 6 wickets fell for 76 runs. Romesh Mendis was out at 12 runs while Nathan Caldera was dismissed for 18 runs. Sinesh Hettiarachchi and Charuka Peris added some life to the battered Thomian innings. Their 7th wicket stand was worth 66 runs. Sinesh Hettiarachchi scored 46 runs. Sinesh Jayawardena, Nethwin Dharmawardena and Ramiro Pereira shared 2 wickets each. St. Thomas's College were eventually dismissed for 161 runs. Royal College Colombo have now secured the prestigious DS Senanayake Memorial Trophy for the first time since 2016.
That's the end. What a fitting end. The skipper holding
President Ranil Wickremesinghe was also present at the award ceremony. Dasis Manchanayake, who led Royal to their first Battle of the Blues win in 7 years, was adjudged man of the match.
Bar Council of England and Wales says it hopes Sri Lanka's Parliament will reconsider appropriateness of questioning Supreme Court judges. The Bar Council of England and Wales in a press release stated that it hopes parliamentary authorities in Sri Lanka will reconsider most carefully the appropriateness of questioning Supreme Court judges before a parliamentary committee, and similarly hope that the Sri Lankan government will consider most carefully whether it can ever be right to encourage the disobedience to court orders. The release refers recent statements made by State Ministry of Finance Shahan Semasinghe and Premanath Dolawatta, referring to an ongoing case in the Supreme Court pertaining to the local authorities election. The release, quoting the chair of the Bar Council of England and Wales, said an independent judiciary is an essential and integral part of the rule of law. So too is the principle that governments comply with court orders. Release added the UN Basic Principles on the independence of the judiciary state. It is the duty of all governmental and other institutions to respect and observe the independence of the judiciary, and there shall not be any inappropriate or unwarranted interference with the judicial process, nor shall judicial decisions by the court be subject to revision. The Russian Defense Ministry said Russia has conferred state awards on the 2 fighter pilots involved in the downing of a US surveillance drone that crashed into the Black Sea.
Presenting the awards on Friday to the Su-27 jet fighter pilots, Russia's defense minister Sergei Shoigu lauded their achievement in preventing the drone from flying into an area near Crimea, to which Moscow has banned access. Russia's presentation of the awards comes a day after the US military released a declassified 42-second video clip showing the Russian Su-27 fighter jets intercepting the drone and making close passes while dumping fuel in an apparent bid to damage the drone's optical and other high-tech instruments. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden has welcomed the International Criminal Court's issuing of an arrest warrant against his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin. The ICC accused President Putin of committing war crimes in Ukraine, something President Biden said the Russian leader had clearly done. The claims focus on the unlawful deportation of children from Ukraine to Russia since Moscow's invasion in 2022. Moscow has denied the allegations and denounced the warrants as outrageous. But how easy is it to arrest a sitting president? We spoke to Professor Vasantha Senaviratne from the University of Colombo.
Russia is not a state party to International Criminal Court. Currently, there are 123 state parties to it. However, that we note that neither Russia, nor USA, China, India, and even in Sri Lanka, that we are not state parties. We are not in that 123 states. If a state is not a member state to the International Criminal Court, generally speaking, they are not bound by the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court unless they volunteer to accept the jurisdiction of the ICC regarding some particular events. Ukraine, for an example, Ukraine is also not a state party similar to Russia, but it has accepted ad hoc basis the jurisdiction of ICC regarding 2 events. So with all that, Russia in a safe status because there could not be any forceful arrest by entering into a sovereign state's jurisdiction, that will not happen. But there are another alternative ways. Even a non-state party can be subjected to the jurisdiction of International Criminal Court if the Security Council, the United Nations Security Council, will adopt a resolution to that effect. Vladimir Putin already, that its spokespersons have denied, and they have said that nothing would happen. So if they travel to other countries, that they can be arrested. If we take the case of Putin, I don't think in a situation like as of now, he will travel to any other country risking himself to be arrested. That is one. Another thing is that Russian Federation is one of the 5 veto-holding permanent members of the UN Security Council. Therefore, that it is highly unlikely that Security Council can adopt any resolution against Putin. But it would be subject to international condemnation, and it would be more symbolic to show the powers of the ICC and the alleged crimes as alleged against Putin and he's one of the senior officials.
In more headline-making news, the official term of 340 local government institutions ends at midnight tomorrow. The State Ministry of Provincial Councils and Local Government says that after midnight tomorrow, the administrative affairs of the local government bodies will be placed under the commissioners and secretaries of the local government institutions.
The term of office of 29 municipal councils, 36 urban councils and 275 local government institutions will end at midnight on Sunday the 19th of March. Although there are 341 local government bodies across the island, the official term of the LPTA Pradeshia Sabha in Galle district will not end as its establishment was delayed. State Minister Janaka Wakkumura said before the local government institutions are placed under officers, he inquired with the Attorney General in this regard based on the verdict of a prior case.
When the official term ends, according to the Act, urban councils will come under the commissioners and the Pradesh Sabhas will come under the secretaries. There is a prior case. We have requested a clarification in this regard from the Attorney General. When we receive the clarification, we will act on it. Public representatives did a great service to the people, no matter what anyone says. There is a little difficulty in fulfilling that service through officers, but we will make every effort to provide these services.
The Prime Minister, who is also the subject minister, is of this view.
Now that
they have sensed it, we can't not speak of it. If the term of the local government bodies ends on Monday, governors may have more authority. They have sensed it, but we have held several rounds of talks and reached an agreement in order to carry out these activities with the chairman and members of all local government bodies.
Although the official term of the local government bodies ends tomorrow, it was proposed that the currently functioning institution should continue to be operated via public representatives when heads of the local government bodies of the Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna met yesterday. SLPP General Secretary Attorney Sagara Karyavasam said he is ready to take legal action in this regard if necessary.
ලංකාවේ ශේෂ්ඨාධිකරණයකින් හෝ වෙන කිසිම අධිකරණයකින් කියලා නැහැ.
The Supreme Court of Sri Lanka or any other court has not said that the Pradesh Sabha members can extend their terms. Now they are deceiving the country by falsely claiming that they too want the election to be held. On the other hand, they are doing everything to stop the election from being held. Don't think that Ranil Wickremesinghe is doing this alone. The henchmen around him are doing these things together.
පටේ ඉන්න මේ හෙන්චයියෝ ටික එකතු වෙලා අනේ මෙහෙම වැඩේ කරන්නේ.
I don't think the commissioner's ruling will be as good as the public representatives. State officials work for a salary. The people are represented and the people's work is done by public representatives and commissioners, not government representatives. Therefore, we are of the stance that they should be given the opportunity. The General Secretary of the SLPP is saying that the current chairman and the members of the local government institutions should be allowed to continue to run these offices. It is now clear who worked to postpone the election. The Podu Jana Alliance continuously said they too want the election to be held. But what are they trying to do now? The people only appointed these current groups for 4 years. Therefore, they are no longer public representatives. They are only representatives of the Podu Jana Alliance.
මේයාලා පොදු දාන සන්දානේ තමන්ගේ පක්ෂ ක්‍රියාකාරී කණ්ඩායමක් විතරයි.
The Kohila-Watta Kolonnawa regional rally to find answers in a country with no answers was held this afternoon, chaired by the opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. This rally was organised by the Kolonnawa electorate organiser and media spokesperson of SJB MP S.M. Marikar.
Whether Ranil conducts the local government election on the announced date or postpones it, he has to hold the election this year. People are in shock when they see electricity tariffs these days. Those of the SLPP can't even come out now. There is no use of winning the local government elections. The same way the Pradesh Sabha fulfills its duty, I will ensure that the required provisions are given to the Pradesh Sabha and create rural development similar to the city, and will leave no room for someone else to come and do work in Kolonnawa for the next 5 years.
කොහොමද ජනතාව ආරක්ෂා කරන්නේ? කොහොමද බංගලොත් භාවයෙන් රට ගොඩ ගන්න
How can we protect the people? How will we create new systems to take the country out of bankruptcy? At a time the engines running the country are inactive, what should we do? Growing the economy. But what has happened today? They've increased interest rates to 30 to 35%. That is an IMF condition. Electricity tariffs have been increased by 250%. That is also an IMF condition. They have limited the basic necessities of the people. Is that also an IMF condition? Instead of our country making the proposals, we are implementing the IMF proposals in our country. That is a change.
IMF එකේ යෝජනා තමයි අපි අපේ රටේ ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්නේ.
NPP leader Andrukumar Disanayake says that the local government election will not be held on the 25th. He made these remarks while attending a conference organised by universities under the theme A New Beginning for a New Direction.
ඒතර දැන් පළාත් පාලන මැතිවරණය කල්දමමින් තිබේ.
We see that the local government election is being postponed. Is it constitutional? As long as they can win the election is supreme for them. It's clear that there is no election on the 25th. They are simply sabotaging the election. The crisis has intensified to such an extent that they cannot face an election that they themselves pushed to legitimize their own power. Their power is now under threat. As per the constitution, the election must be held. It appears that the constitution is just a piece of paper for them. The court order will be delivered on the 10th of April, but the court decision delivered on the 3rd of March seems to have challenged their power. So what needs to be done? Motions are passed to summon the judge who delivered the verdict, stating that this is a violation of parliamentary privileges. How long will the court's decision be considered supreme? Only as long as it benefits them. Ranil Wickramasinghe thinks that we're here to run a 100-meter race. We ran the first round and he won. The second round also. The second round will be on the 25th of April, but he has planted various traps. He will win that round too, but he will get trapped in the last round. We will win this marathon for a transformation of the people of this country.
හැබැයි සහතිකයි අන්තිම වටෙන් හරියා කුට්ටු කරගන්නවා මේ මැරතන් එක ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්නේ මේ රටේ පොදු ජනයාගේ නව පරිවර්තනය.
In a letter to the President, the Bar Association of Sri Lanka has said the next IGP should have the ability to restore public confidence in Sri Lanka police.
The Bar Association of Sri Lanka, in a letter addressed to President Ranil Wickramasinghe, said, quote, "It is of utmost importance that the next Inspector General of Police of Sri Lanka should be an officer whose service in the police force is exemplary and free of any blemish and able to restore public confidence in the Sri Lanka police." End quote. The BSL letter has been issued in response to news that the office of the IGP is due to fall vacant on the 23rd of March 2023. The BSL wrote, quote, "During the last few decades, there has been a serious erosion of public confidence in Sri Lanka police. The lack of independence, politicization, police brutality, custodial deaths, lack of professionalism have all contributed to the erosion of public confidence in the police." End quote. The Bar Association of Sri Lanka is of the view that public confidence in the police is vital for the administration of justice and the rule of law. The BSL urged that no officer who has pending fundamental rights or criminal cases against him or any allegations of involvement in unlawful activity be appointed to the office of the IGP. The BSL concludes by urging the President, quote, that the appointment of the Inspector General of Police and all other appointments to key officers be done in a transparent manner so as to establish public confidence in the appointment process. End quote.
Postgraduate studies during the weekend came to a standstill today as well due to the ongoing strike action against the government's tax policy by university lecturers. The strike continues for the 10th consecutive day today.
The Federation of University Teachers Association said that the strike will continue until the demands are resolved. The trade union action launched by the electricity and water supply trade unions based on several demands including the government's new tax policy is still ongoing. Joint convener of the Trade Union Coordination Centre, Vasantha Samarasinghe, said that farmers and fishermen will also be brought together for this series of joint strikes.
Ranil should know that this cannot be stopped through oppression while reducing the taxes and interest rates of this country. After this, we will take things forward via a collective effort with the political parties, farmers, fishermen and religious leaders of this country. Ranil can hide until then. Just like crabs enjoy water until the pan heats up, Ranil is also waiting till the situation heats up. He has nowhere to go. Although Gotabaya went by sea, Ranil will go down with this.
The Joint Teachers Services Union commented on reports that the Teachers Transfer Board, which comes under the supervision of the Ministry of Education, has been dissolved with immediate effect.
Over 124,000 transfers of teachers for the years 2021 and 2022, which the Teacher Transfer Board and the Teachers Unions intervened to approve over several months, were cancelled yesterday under the directives of the President. What is the solution to that? During the discussion held last week, the Minister promised the transfers will be made permanent on the 27th. The Minister must take responsibility for that promise. The Executive President has no authority to cancel those transfers. We will challenge this. We will reverse this decision. Like Gotabaya Rajapaksa had to reverse every gazette he issued, the President will also have to reverse every decision he makes in the future.
State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siyambalapitiya says that the official statement regarding the extended credit facility provided by the International Monetary Fund will be announced on Monday.
The
IMF Executive Board is scheduled to meet on the 20th night for the final discussion on the agreement reached. A press conference on their decisions will take place that same night. This is no secret. Everyone in the country will get to know the details. As soon as the IMF publishes this agreement with us on their website, the President, as the Minister of Finance, is ready to present these agreements to the Parliament. It is likely to happen next week. As soon as we get the agreement on this on the 20th, we expect that our country will receive the first installment of the extended loan facility amounting to $300 to $320 million within the next 2 weeks.
We'll be back after a short commercial break. Stay with us.
News First, main sponsor.
23% for 2 months, 25% for 4 months. Valuable FD. A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD. 23% for 2 months, 25% for 4 months. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
Welcome back to the news. It was confirmed that listeria was not present in 30 samples obtained from the shops along the road to Adams Peak. Director of Health Service of the Ratnapura district, Dr. Srini Alhaperuma said food and water samples taken from shops on all 3 roads leading up to the Udamaluwa of the Adams Peak were sent to laboratories for testing last night.
Is there a risk of the listeria bacteria spreading?
Ratnapura District Health Services Director Dr. Srini Alaperuma says that there has been no risk for the disease to spread so far. Currently, it has been confirmed that 1 woman has died due to infection from listeria. The epidemiology unit confirmed that following the woman's death, 2 other children died at the same hospital within a period of 2 to 3 weeks. The similarity between all 3 cases was that they all embarked on a pilgrimage to Sripada. However, so far, it has not been confirmed that they died due to listeria infection. A senior health officer from Ratnapura said that the samples have been sent to the Boralla Medical Research Institute to confirm the death of another person who showed symptoms related to this disease. In the meantime, another patient who is suspected of being infected with listeria is being treated at the intensive care unit of the Badulla General Hospital. Doctors say that the reports of the samples taken from him will be received next Monday.
Is the listeria bacteria new to Sri Lanka?
There have been many cases reported from Sri Lanka where people fell ill after being infected by the listeria bacteria. Around the world, it's been reported as a disease in many countries, and even antibiotic drugs have already been discovered for this infection. Of the people who get infected, the most at risk are immunocompromised people, the elderly, newborns, pregnant mothers, and those receiving immunosuppressants for chronic illnesses.
What do health authorities say about listeria infection?
In the backdrop of an intense discussion on social media about listeria infection and its real situation, we have attempted to inquire from high-ranking officials of the Ministry of Health on many occasions. However, every time we called the Director General of Health, he did not respond verbally, but only replied through text. We attempted to contact the Director of the Epidemiology Unit, Dr. Samitha Ginige, which was also unsuccessful.
We shouldn't publicize an unnecessary fear regarding the present situation. It is important to report scientifically accurate information. As a trade union, we request the Ministry of Health and the officials in charge of awareness and promotion to do their duty in dismissing the rumors and speculations gripping social media based on disease symptoms and the patients who died of this infection.
Against a backdrop where people are deeply sensitive of an infection that is not well understood, keeping vital information from them could lead to more unnecessary panic and speculation. Aren't the attempts of the health authorities to protect their own reputation a serious act of jeopardizing the public's health?
Yesterday, we reported about one of the 2 rare elephants said to be in the wild in Singharaja, which is currently under severe threat. The same wild elephant that roamed the Gaul Nelu area since the 14th has been successfully redirected to the Singharaja Reserve today.
This wild elephant, which had come to the Nelluwa area in Gaul, was roaming the Nelluwa, Duli Alla, Kosmulla, Batuangala, Dibulahitiya and Happite areas for the past few days, alarming the local residents. Yesterday afternoon, this wild elephant was seen roaming in the Madugata village. The wildlife officers had commenced an operation to redirect the elephant to Singharaja, and last night the wild elephant had moved to Varukandeniya via Indigasvilla and Tambalagama. Later it was reported that this wild elephant had moved to Lankagama, Pitadeniya and Vatugala areas near Singharaja, where it was said to frequent previously.
The ceremony of presenting the Sannas Patra to Venerable Galtamwatte Nandaratana Thero, the chief incumbent of the historical Yudaganava Rajamahavihara in Buttala, was held today. The symbolic transition marked his appointment as the chief Sanganayaka of Uwa Vellasa of the Askiri chapter of the Siam sect.
Venerable Galtamwatte Nandaratana Thero was ushered in a vehicle procession from the Ukkampitiya Rajamahaviharaya to the Yudaganava Rajamahaviharaya. The ceremony was inaugurated under the auspices of the Anunayaka of the Asagiri sect, Most Venerable Anamaduwe Dhammadasi Thero. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena were among those that attended the event.
කාරුණික මෙත්සිත පෙරදරෙහි සිනහවකින් නිබඳමුව සරසාගෙන මේ ඓතිහාසික ඌවවෙල්ලස්සෙන්
The Sannas Patra were presented to Venerable Galtamwatte Nandaratana Thero by Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena.
ශාස්ත්‍රෝද්ග්‍රහණය කරමින් සංඝ ශෝභන ගුණයන් පර්යේෂණ සූරී Galtamwatte Nandaratana Mahimayan වහන්සේ වෙත
The Vijinipata or traditional fan was presented by the Basnayaka Nilame of the Ruhunu Kataragama Devalaya, Dishan Gunasekara.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Subhashinshana Tilina Vandinayaka.
Today marks 10 years since the opening of the Mattala International Airport. An event was held today to celebrate this milestone.
Construction of the Mattala International Airport, which commenced by obtaining a loan from China with an estimated cost of $210 million, was declared open on the 18th of March 2013. It was the government that came to power after the change of administration in 2015 that took steps to store paddy in the air cargo terminal at the Mattala International Airport, which was built with such a huge investment. However, after the government changed once again, operations at the Mattala International Airport commenced again with 6 flights operating per week. A religious event was held with the Mahasangha this morning, while a ceremony was also held to mark the 10th anniversary of the Mattala International Airport.
According to the policies of President Ranil Wickremesinghe, we hope to bring planes that have been used for some time to this airport. We will sell them after renovating them. We are also taking steps to conduct aviation schools here and provide facilities to park and service aircraft here.
Today marked the second day of the first phase of the LOLC Divisavya program that aims to strengthen the future of our students. Today the program took place in the Kegol district.
Exercise books and equipment are distributed to school children in Sri Lanka under this project. This program is supported by the Ministry of Education and is fully sponsored by the LOLC group. Today, exercise books and school equipment were distributed to students in 47 schools in the Dehiovita education zone under the Kegol district. Students of the Dampalagama Primary School in Dehiovita received books and school equipment today. The students of the Kambiyadiya Tamil Primary School in Panavala, Vahaliyagoda also benefited from this program today. The Divisavya program also covered the Neluvatukanna and Valley Helatanna primary schools in Manalpola under the Dehiovita education zone today.
The Asia Pacific Alliance for Disaster Management in Sri Lanka held its search and rescue refresher training this morning at the Sri Lanka Life Saving Association headquarters.
The training took place at the Mount Lavinia beach this morning and included refresher maneuvers and rescue drills.
It's been a 5-year journey of search and rescue in Sri Lanka, and today is a local refresher training that we are having at Mount Lavinia Beach, so that when the international trainings or even a disaster occurs, we are able to get deployed with safety first of our lives and also the lives of whom we are going to save.
The participants included rescuers from the APED Rescue Unit.
APED search and rescue කණ්ඩායම කියලා කියන්නේ අපි ජපානයේ ඉන්න අපගේ විශේෂ
The APED search and rescue team has been trained by experts from Japan. Our Japanese trainers and advisors are expected to arrive in Sri Lanka in the middle of this year. Prior to their arrival, we are carrying out refresher courses together with Sri Lanka Life Saving.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා ජීවිතාර සංගමයත් එකතු වෙලා ඒ සංගම මූලස්ථානයේ තමයි මේ පවත්වන්නේ.
This team is now ready and able to face any kind of swift water disaster with the most important focus on saving lives. Ultimately, that's why everyone here is risking a lot to get themselves trained and certified in order to be able to save lives.
This is a fantastic effort where people are being trained up from the community for search and rescue. And this can be actually brought about in their local communities when there are problems and disasters to save lives. So it's a very, very good initiative.
APED trained rescuers are certified to be deployed in swift water flood disasters in Sri Lanka and are made up of an elite civil and military rescue unit.
A court in Islamabad has cancelled a hearing into charges former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan sold state gifts following clashes between his supporters and police. Police said Khan's backers threw stones and fired tear gas near the court complex. The former cricketer turned politician has since set off back to his home in Lahore, which police raided in his absence and made arrests.
Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan was summoned by the court in relation to a state gift case in which he is said to be indicted. Soon after his departure from Lahore today, police in the capital of the Punjab province carried out the raid at his residence, breaking down the entrance gate to gain access. Khan, chief of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party, condemned the raid and said it was carried out while his wife was alone at home. Khan tweeted, quote, Punjab police have led an assault on my house in Zaman Park where Bushra Begum is alone. Under what law are they doing this? This is a part of London plan where commitments were made to bring absconders Nawaz Sharif to power as quid pro quo for agreeing to one appointment. End quote. Footage from Lahore showed police breaking the gate of Khan's residence after they faced resistance by PTI supporters. A tweet shared by his party showed police using batons to target the supporters.
Protests were held tonight as well against increased electricity tariffs, tax burden and the postponement of elections. These protests were organized by parties including residents, civil organizations and political representatives.
A group of members of the Jatika Janabala Vege protested against the rise in the cost of living in the Ambalangoda town tonight. This was a protest held tonight in the Thirappane area of Megalab by the residents of the area. A protest organised by the Jatika Janabala Vege against the increase in electricity tariffs was also held in Akmimana Pinnaduwa town of the Gaul district.
Aside from the Battle of the Blues, two other school big matches took place today. The 118th Lovers' Quarrel between Mahinda College Galle and Richmond College Galle ended in a draw at the Galle International Cricket Stadium today. And over at the Pisara Oval, the third Reverend James Cartman Cup encounter between Wesley College Colombo and St. Benedict's College Colombo also ended in a draw today. That's all the news we have for you today. Do make sure you log into our website, that is www.newsfirst.lk, for all these stories and much more. Thank you for joining. Good night.